Hey, this is Anil from marketingautomationfocus.com, and today I'm going to share with you an amazing app which helps you organize all your images, creatives, and actually a few other things that I just found out. So um, uh, let me show you. It's not going to be an in-depth tutorial. It's an overview of most of their features. There are just so many that I can only share with you a few, and then I'll share with you some of my tips and tricks. So the app name is Eagle, and it is cool, and no wonder their URL actually is eagle.cool. So that's cool. So you can see here it's their homepage, and it says organize all your reference images in one place, and it is so true. It is true. And they have a browser extension, and I'll touch on that as well. And they have a Mac OS app and a Windows app, and you can download that. And this is a brief snapshot or screenshot of their app. And just briefly on on their homepage, it shows different features. They just highlight some of the features here. So I'm just scrolling down to show you, and it also shows you what kinds of formats this app recognizes. And they change, depending on if you're on Windows versus Mac. So now let me actually show you the extension that they have, and the browser extension is available for Chrome, Safari, Firefox, and Edge. And I'll touch on some of those features I'm using on Mac in Chrome, and I'll show you how the browser extension looks like on a Mac and in Chrome. And also, let me show you, they have amazing, very minimalistic and to the point, but very useful. I found their learn or knowledge base. You can see here on the left side is a nice clean menu set of all the things that you would need to learn quickly. And on the right side, they have a brief video and then some description with screenshots and GIFs. It's very simple, very neat and clean. So just wanted to share that with you real quick. And then let me take you to the app, and I will come back to the browser extension, showing with an example of a website, what you can do with it, just briefly. So let me go to the app now. So here we have their app on my Mac, and this is the view. I got some, about 60 items in this app. And I'll let me show you some of the features here. So on the top left here, at least on Mac, this is how it looks. So you got About Eagle, check for updates, preferences, and some other items. And then you can create library, you can switch library, you can clear history, force reload library, merge library, and the like. And then under file menu, you have new folder, new smart folder, and I'll talk more about that and what that is. And you can import folders, and there is what they call Eagle package. So that's if you have a bunch of items that you can actually export as a package that you can share with other people, and they can import that Eagle formatted package, which contains all the metadata and tags and a bunch of other things that I'll show you. And all the other regular, pretty much typical menu items that you would expect. This one has tags menu, find, obviously, view menu, extensive options here, and window is typical Mac type menu, and help is also, most of it is typical of Mac, how it shows up, and then there was some other menus that Eagle has: change logs, development roadmap, error logs, etc. And you can also export debug reports. So that's pretty nice. It's so easy to, if you happen to find a bug, but I haven't found any bug as yet. So, but in case you do, so you have an option. So that's kind of handy. And so now on the left bar, let's just look at the top left here. So this one is for go to folders. So when you click on that, like a opposite arrow shows you go to, this way or that way, I guess. And if you have folders, then it will list the folders, and if you had too many, you might like to search. And then there are tags. That if you had tags, I don't have any as yet. And then I have one smart folder, I'll talk about that, as test, as I was just testing it around. And then documents is basically all the items. So as I mentioned before, I have 60 documents or items here. Okay, so I click anywhere, it disappears. And then this one is for adding the items, like new folder, new smart folder, and a bunch of pretty common that if you wanted to add directly a PowerPoint document and Keynote document. Keynote is for the Mac. Pages, numbers, these are Mac format Office type documents. And then you have Photoshop, XD document, Illustrator document, Sketch. These are very powerful. I'm so excited about using these because sometimes I use some of these. I have Photoshop type, not Photoshop app per se, but Affinity Photo, and I'll see how that works when I try that. So you can do that. And then this handy little gadget here, sidebar or inspector tab. So watch this. So when I click this, the left and right side bars, they actually disappear. Okay, and it gives you a handy zoom in the middle, zoom kind of button or knob. And then there's this again, order by. You can sort it like a vertical opposite direction type half arrow. And then filter will if you need to filter it, there are a whole bunch of options of filter by color, tags, folder. You can, whatever folder you have, you can select those, and the shape types, rating if you rated your items, and the type of whatever type of, if you have bookmarks. This is something I learned today. It's amazing. I'll show you that really quick. And then if you have types of documents, and it will list how many, and you can sort them. And then date imported, amazing feature, just in case if you were looking for, like, what did I downloaded something yesterday, and what were those things? And this is I can imagine this is pretty handy there. And or let's say in last 30 days, as last month I did something, so or I downloaded a logo and I'm looking for it but I can't remember. So this may help narrow down your search when you use the filter. And then if you kind of knew that you have some document, your images of certain width and height, so you can define those width kind of range. Oh, I think I am looking for 600 by 320 or whatever the ratio would be. And then within, for like for width, you could do, I 300 or 600 to 1000. That would be min max width, and it will actually filter that. And notes, if you had notes for any items, okay, I want to sort and filter, not sort, filter all the items that I have notes on them, yes or no. And then on top of that, whatever the keywords that I may have for those items that have notes, but with certain keywords. And then same thing like with URL. So if you have certain URL that you're looking for, that, okay, I know the URL, and I want to focus on just that URL related items, images or bookmarks or whatever. So it's pretty powerful here. So if I click again on filter, it goes away, and then without the filter you can still search your items here. So let me go back here, and so now you have in this app all the items are always there in a bucket called all. And if you haven't created any folders, or if you haven't tagged them, then you will find them here. For example, you see uncategorized 7. Okay, so you can see down at the bottom, not bottom, but the middle of the sidebar, that I have 55 items, right? No, sorry, 53, and then 7 are uncategorized because I have total 60. Okay, and all 60 here are untagged because I haven't tagged them as yet. Recently used, random, all tags, trash, and then you can, if you delete something, it goes into trash, so you can go back to trash and you can recover them, or you empty out trash if you're absolutely sure that you want to delete certain items or all of them permanently. So now Smart Folder is just amazing, and I just started using it and I was just testing things out, and it's very powerful. I'll tell you what that is. So now if I click on this arrow, this kind of expands and folds the listing of the smart folders, and if you click on, left click on the plus sign, then you have new smart folder and new group. New group, I'm still figuring out what that is, but it seems to me there's another powerful feature here. And new smart folder is the way you name it, you define it. So let me so you can rename, you can edit the rule. So the rule that I have, you can define. Look at this. It is conditional defining or definition of rules. So it makes it so powerful because you can say any of more than one conditions or all of the conditions listed below, and you can keep on adding the conditions. So that's when you would use any or all. And look at this, you can have name, type, tags, folders, a whole bunch of properties or metadata that you could select, and then you could say on top of that, contain, excludes, begins with, ends with, equals, null. I mean, this is crazy. So what I did when I was playing with it, then I said, okay, I'm just going to go with simple file name and contains, and I just chose phi. Now actually, if I type USC, they disappear. It's dynamic actually. You don't even have to save the changes. You can cancel out, of course, and it will be fine. But so I realized that the name of the items the other day I downloaded or captured in this app, the name didn't have USC. It was from the USC website, a specific website, and so I realized that, and I said, oh, well, no wonder, so nothing was showing up. So let me cancel this out. So what this does is allows you to have that rule. So now in future, if I download anything that, let me go back to the rules here. If I download anything that has any item, images, whatever, or bookmark, then if the name of that item contains this word phi, then it will automatically be categorized or shown up in this folder. So that's why this is smart folder. And you can go by dates, you can go by even color, and it's just so powerful. So the way I'm using it now, that if I remember the name, the color, or if I have the image and I'm looking for all other images that have certain color for logos, so that's one of my use cases that I'm using it. Otherwise, before, you're just scrambling, going to different images, and then you're trying to figure out, then you have a color drop or a color picker that that I'm trying to pick a color and figuring out that does this color match, is it the exact color? And you can imagine that will drive you nuts, because so this way, if I specify a smart folder based on color for all the logos or images that they contain this color, then it will automatically sort and show me those items. So that's one big use case. And the folders is pretty obvious here. Again, is expand and fold the folders list here. And here, if you're just adding, it just automatically creates an untitled. So I'm just going to remove this folder. And so let me show you now the browser extension. I've already talked about the filter options. So for each folder or even smart folder, you automatically have this filter menu that shows up by default. And if you don't like it, you can turn it off by just clicking on it. You can zoom in, zoom out of how big the items will show here. And on the right side, it will show the properties. And let me just talk about also the, if you hover, so one of the great features that's similar to what I was just talking about earlier was that before using Eagle, I would just go crazy trying to see what color is it, right? So you have to take a color picker and then pick the color and do all sorts of things. If you've done that, you know what I'm talking about. So over here now, within an image or item, it gives you a spectrum of colors, some of the key colors. I don't know what the limit is, but some of the colors that are actually on that image or item, and then you hover over and it'll give you the color code. And if you click on it, left click, then it gives you the find similar color item. That's the cool feature. Okay. And I don't know what's going to happen. You just click. Okay, so similar one is only that one that uses at least one color of that matches with that color. So this filter automatically got applied for that color that's over here, right here. Okay, so I picked that color, so it basically filtered. How efficient is that? So now I can just actually I can go here. I guess I could delete that filter right here on the top right here where I'm pointing, and but if you want to remove this, then there is no color and everything comes back. So that's pretty cool. And here are the options that easily copy the color in different color formats that you can use in your design, and while you're or even searching images for that color, or you're specifying a color code for your design or website design or any other creatives that requires colors. So that's pretty cool. And just talking about on the right sidebar, it gives you all the properties of that item. In this case, it's image, JPEG image, size, and some of the images, if the metadata is available for resolution, then it will show you the resolution. I'm not sure if which one I have here to show you, but one of the key features that I always like when you capture an image or any image file, then you have other metadata, but depending on the app, I haven't seen anything like this. And if I'm saving the images for my project, then yes, I have the information associated with the image or any other item that I'm saving. Mostly it's image. Then later on, if I need to go find where did I get that image from. So you see over here on the right side in the middle of this bar that you have the URL of that item or image where you captured it from. So let me now show you a couple of other tips and features, including the browser extension. So let's go there. So here I am on a website. Is actually one of my websites, main websites is marketingautomationfocus.com. And let me show you here, if I go to Eagle browser extension. Now, this feature was the one that I was mentioning before, that I was just focused on batch save because I love this feature of batch saving, and I'll show you how that works. And capture area, capture the visible portion that in within the browser that you can see, and capture the whole page. And there are a couple other features and preferences. Let me just show you really quick. The drag behavior, screenshot format, whether you want PNG or JPEG, and whether you want the collect settings, ask where to save when saving images. But in this case, it automatically saves to Eagle app, but you can actually choose to save it someplace else. But why would you? I mean, I think that the biggest benefit is that, like I showed you, all those features and intelligence and information that you have at your fingertips, that's the whole value of Eagle Apps. So, but hey, they give you an option that for some reason, whatever you're capturing, if you actually want to save it some other place, then it can ask you where to save that. And screenshot settings, and then some shortcuts to allow you to even do this even faster. So let's go back here, and I'll show you the batch save. But this save URL Eagle, so I'm just gonna use this again. I used it, save URL to Eagle. So click on that. And so now another feature is that since I had already done that, it's amazing now. It says it recognizes that because it has all the information, and it's saying, well, you got existing bookmark or URL, you captured that before, and just now this one is the imported one, and you can click on this and you can select whether you want to keep the existing file, even if you were to say import, right? And or you say don't import. So I'm just going to say don't import, okay? And I'll just show you, go back to this imported one, and now watch this. So if I click this, it's just as I mentioned, that now it has a little tiny on the top left here with the gray background URL to tell you that it's a URL, it's a bookmark, but it's fetching the URL browser image. Actually, it's not even image; it's a view. So isn't that cool? Because it's not a featured image type of thing, right? So it's actually fetching the home page, that page. And then there is a tiny bottom right, there's like a lens here, or zoom lens here, and you hover over and you get the zoomed in view. It's really cool. So now, just as I mentioned, that it gives you some spectrum of all these colors that are on that page with the title of the page, and if you want to apply a tag or write notes, URL of course, and some other metadata, and it just gives you that if that was an image, then what the dimension would be, and the size is basically, it's a kind of a snapshot of that website view, and whatever it was in the view. And it's pretty actually small size at 12.4 kilobytes. So that just actually that tells me that it just tells you the dimension of the view, but it's not really the image. So I misspoke before, but now that I think of it, it's just simply URL. So now let me just double click on this. So what it's doing is actually almost like a browser. And I didn't know this until earlier today. So it's the real page, just like in a browser. And you can see on the bottom left, it's my pop-ups are popping up, and I can actually go to I can browse just like a browser. Okay, and it's telling me one of 60. Uh, so I think this has to do with whatever items I have in Eagle, one of 60. Okay, and so when I click on this menu blog, it's pretty much like my website. So that's pretty neat. I don't know for what I would use it for, but it's at least, if I have a bookmark, then I can just simply browse and I don't have to exit out of here. And unless I need to for some reason, then sure I can. But it's kind of cool that now I can save bookmarks with the view so I can easily identify these. And if I wanted to just kind of quickly check without copying, pasting, and then checking it out in Chrome browser, for example. So I can do that. Now, let me go back to that web page and show you how to capture or save a whole bunch of images on a specific website page, for example. So let's go there again. So here we are again on that website page, and let's go click on Eagle extension here and click on batch save. Now I'll show you something here that pretty neat, almost like a troubleshooting tool that you can use this. So you can see that there are a whole bunch of images on that page, but a bunch of images are still missing. And this one shows up like a broken link of some sort kind of thing, or it can't fetch the image. And then on the bottom right here, not bottom, but over right here where I'm hovering, the last image, this I remember that when I was doing my website, there was a default image from a template, but this one is still there, and I don't need it, so I should actually delete this from my media library or page, because it seems like I use my own background image, and I think I use this left one and or this one here, a big banner as a background, which covered on top. So somehow this exists on this page. I mean, media library is okay that it's there, but I don't know why it's showing up here. So this seems to me that this tool would allow me to check a page on a website to troubleshoot or check to make sure I don't have some extra stuff. Okay, and now watch this. So it's still calculating. So now let's just go ahead and select all and import 11. Okay. Okay, so now it imported 11, and remember that a bunch of these images uh, actually haven't shown up yet. And so now it's telling me here, up here in the middle of this app here with exclamation mark, one file failed to import. Click here for details. So I'm going to click here. Okay, so it's telling me that there was some error and file format is not recognized. So there is something on my page there that it's not recognizing the format. It shouldn't be. So this is almost like a troubleshooting tool to me. So now this actually makes me think that I should go and check my other web pages that something happened, or maybe I made a mistake, and I can just copy to clipboard, and I can either retry, close, or clear all. And I most likely I would come back and say copy to clipboard and then investigate as to what's going on with these with this file. Now it said that it only had a problem with one file, but I think There some of them are these are, and it's nice to tell me with this little kind of a tag. It's not a tag, but it's like a label, the type of files like SVG, and it seems like that I got this some problem here going on, and there's some icons here, maybe 1 by 1, 6 by 5 type size, and there's some WebP base, so maybe I have image compression going on, a tool that's compressing these images and creating this WebP format, and there might be some issues going on here, so I need to fix these at some point. And then I thought that I actually personally, maybe my web designer at that time, it's been a few years, this original website that I had created, and I had copied from another website and then made some changes. So it seems like there was some SVG type of files that I may like to actually change them to WebP or PNG. There's so I can troubleshoot. So that's, I think that's pretty much it that I wanted to show. But it's just quite a few features, and it looks like that I can use this for troubleshooting 2 or 3 problems that I mentioned when you try to save files in batch. Another tool, I had tried some other tool to do a batch saving, but it's not that smart. It's not intelligent in terms of the collecting metadata or file names. Plus, since they don't have the app or whatever reason, it's limited because it just gives you a zip file with whatever name, a default name, and then you have to download that and then unpack it and then look at the files, and there's quite a bit of manual process. So I think, so if I need to grab a logo from a website or some other image, I can just straight use this and it will have all the information, properties, metadata, title, URL. So in future, where if I wanted to find out where do I go to get this again, or check something out, or just for any reason if I had to do that. So that's all. That was quite a bit, and I hope you liked it, and talk to you guys later. Bye now.